Hi Cambridge International School, I hope this video finds you well and you are ready for episode 2 of my stimulating and exciting series entitled, of course, Our School Purpose 2030 Vision. And are you ready for it? That is the question you've got to ask yourself. So last time we met, I talked to you about the Sustainable Development Goals. It was number 1, the vision, mission and values of our school. So today I'm going to continue drawing out this CIS Roadmap, our direction, and talk to you about the next 2 areas, our beliefs and our essential agreements. And I'll try not to move my hands around too much. So let's start with our beliefs. What do we believe? What are our beliefs and how do we enact them? Not just talk about them. So there are at least 6 levels that help us create that same moral purpose, this belief in who we are and what we believe. These beliefs help us in particular about managing change, which is constant in our lives. This change model allows us to continually reinvent and rethink what we do. So the first level is environment. This level refers to that physical and emotional environment around us, such as the community, the people, and resources available to us. We ask ourselves questions like, how does the environment affect our goal? What are external opportunities or constraints are there? What kind of relationships do we have? The next level is about behaviour. What are our actions and our behaviours? How do we react to a given situation? Are we being tolerant, supportive, kind? Are we being reflective and looking at the context of a situation? The next level 3 is about capacity, our capability, about our abilities, our skills, our talents, our knowledge, our competencies, and have we got the ones that we actually need? Which skills do we need, but have not yet learned in order to make that need and those changes to what we are trying to do? So the next level is about our values, about our beliefs and how we behave that define who we are and how we lead our lives, yet we often aren't aware of them. Useful questions are, what's important to me? What do I believe? Why do I believe what I do? And how do I show people these values right out in front of us? Level 5 is about identity, our sense of self, to ask ourselves, what do you actually stand for? What is our common purpose? And can we see what we value? And that final level, which is called level 6, and the level that sits really at the top of everything we do, is spirit. Our connectedness with a common vision, our connectedness with that common purpose, our collective responsibility for all that we say and do, so that we really contribute to that one planet, one people, and one future for all. We all need to lead this world to a better version of itself, and I believe that we can do that. So these 6 levels help drive our beliefs to engage in an ever-changing environment that as educators, we are constantly evolving ourselves to provide a more robust road for those children and our children to walk on. So now let's move into our essential agreements, our school rules for our older parents and older me, created along with our vision and mission and values with the whole school, community, students, parents and staff. We did it together. So our rules, or as I'm going to call them going forward, our essential agreements are based on human rights, and we are all, and I say all, as these rules apply to you as parents. As being part of our school, you agree with these essential agreements. So let's break this down a little bit more. Our essential agreements, or school rules, are usually associated with the classroom management, the school discipline. However, rules also define the way we think about oneself and our world, our guidelines, our actions. It helps us evaluate what good and bad is, what right and wrong is, and therefore part of our moral values in what we believe. They are part of human rights as outlined in the SDGs and in the vision, mission and values of the school. So these rules can be broken down into 5 levels. Relational rules, which are about don't bully and don't tease others. Number 2 is about structuring the rules. So they refer to things like talking out of turn, raise your hand, be careful with school property. So the next set of rules, if you like, are called protecting rules. And these rules are about safety and health. For example, don't run in the corridor. Be careful when you play on ice. Not in this country, or maybe there is. Then there's personal rules that reflect on one's own behaviour, about us taking responsibility for ourselves. For example, think before you act. And finally, etiquette rules. Rules which manifest in customs and traditions, in our social situations. So for example, don't swear or don't wear a hat inside or use bad language. Because I know in Australia we do use bad language in context though. So it depends on the culture. According to the students though, when we ran the survey about those rules or about those expectations, they thought that relational rules were the most important. And remember, they were about no bullying and being nice. They thought protecting and structuring rules came next. Remember, that was about safety and health. And the last one was etiquette rules, about being polite. They saw that as least important to them. So from that collection, we came up with 3 essential agreements with, again, the staff, students and parents. So I'm hearing you say, what are they, Lachlan? Get on with it, will you? Okay. Number 1, but these are in no particular order. Everyone has the right to learn. These are about relational and structural rules. Remember, about bullying and raising your hand. And what does that look like? For example, listening to the teacher and the students when they're talking to other students, concentrating, doing your best, being organised, being punctual, always arriving to school and class on time. Now that rule underpins pretty much anything. You disrupt a class, you're breaking our school rules by calling out, standing up, running out the door, any of those things, being late, you're breaking number 1 rule or essential agreement. The second one is that everyone has the right to be treated with respect. These are about personal and etiquette rules. Remember, these are about self-reflection. So what does that look like? Things like you have the responsibility to look after your classroom and your workspace. You have a responsibility of your actions. You are not rough with other students. You look out for other students. You help them if you can. You don't tease. You don't insult, swear, or use offensive language. Now finally, our third one, because there's only 3 altogether, is everyone has the right to learn and play in a safe environment. Now these are the protecting rules, which is about safety. So again, what does that look like? It's about having respect for authority and the rights of property of self and others. It's about responsibility to ensure that you treat others how you would want to be treated. It's about being honest and truthful. It's about respecting differences of beliefs and culture and values and traditions of others. Now these are our essential agreements and are fixed in our discipline policy. And our discipline policy is based on what we call choice theory. Now choice theory is recognised around the world. It's about how we control our own behaviour, because we can't control others. Their behaviours are their choices, and only they can change this. You can choose to speed or not. You can choose to smoke or not. What we do as a school is help present the opportunity for students to make the right choices and understand the consequences, negative or positive. Now this is choice theory, and it's based on a well-known psychologist called William Glasser. So look him up. You'll find there's lots of good information about that. So today we've talked about 2 things, our beliefs and our essential agreements. So now we are building our war chest, so to speak. We've talked about 4 out of the 6 areas that are outlined at the beginning of our 2030 roadmap. Today, we have talked about the Sustainable Development Goals. We've talked about that 1 planet and 1 people and 1 future as part of those Sustainable Development Goals. We talked about our vision, mission and values today. Today, we talked about our belief structures and the levels on how we approach the world and how we approach change. And finally today, we talked about our essential agreements that are based on human rights and choice theory. So I'm now hoping that you can start to see all these parts coming together as a whole, as a picture. However, we've still got 2 more sections to go, which I will start talking to you about in the near future. One is high performance learning, and finally the interconnected nature of all these items and how we deliver them again and again and again at CIS, which is unbelievable. So until we meet again, everybody, farewell for now.